War Eagle. I am so humbled and so grateful to be standing in front of you today. It's been a fascinating, let's call it 35 hours. Been 24 hours on campus, so I can't tell you how appreciative my family is of the opportunity. I can't tell you how grateful I am to be standing here today. I want to thank Dr. Roberts for the warm welcome and the opportunity. I want to thank John for his integrity through the search, for him doing it the right way, for the timing of it all to work out the right way, and from the start to the beginning, doing it with the highest class and the integrity that he promised from the beginning he would do it with, and I'm grateful for that, John. The Board of Trustees for how quickly and rapidly we were able to go through this process, and for accepting me. I'm grateful to that. Lee Van Horn and the administrative staff that's worked for the last 24 hours. We took a little nap last night for about an hour and then right back at it. Everybody that was involved with the search, thank you for choosing me and this staff and my family to represent one of the most storied programs in all of college football. The Auburn Creed: work, hard work. I believe in Auburn and love it. John tells the story of my family coming to the U.S., and I told the staff, I hate talking about myself. I don't ever want to stand up here and talk about me. I want to stand up here and talk about this program, Auburn University, and more importantly, our players. For the next couple minutes, I'll go through it, and then from here on out, it'll be about the program, the team, and everything that Auburn University stands for. I want to thank the most important person in my life and my rock, and the one that allows me to go to work and, as she says, hang out and do football with my buddies. But this young lady that I've dragged all across the country for the last 16 years, she's never once complained, never once said anything other than, I got it, I love you, you're going to go be great, and you're going to go win. And my wife, Alexis, she's a rock star. My kiddo, yeah. My kiddos, Barrett and Corbin, and all they keep talking about is they can't wait to get up here and start playing baseball, flag football, cheering, and entrench ourselves into this community. I don't know if this community is ready for Barrett Golesh, but it'll be a hell of a ride. What you're going to get from me, from our staff, and as we get rolling, our players, is the hardest working, toughest, grittiest program in the entire country. We're going to work day in, day out. We're going to find wins in every single margin we could find. We're going to build a process-driven program, where we wake up and we worry about winning every single aspect of our lives every single day. I truly believe that if you buy into a process, a way of doing things day in, day out, from the moment you wake up to how you come in, to how you attack your relationships in a building, to how you attack the weight room, sports medicine, nutrition, the film room, the teaching, and then certainly the work on the field. If you buy into eating right, sleeping right, hydrating right, outworking people in the things that nobody else sees, the end result will happen. A lot of the time, you don't control the end result. You control your daily habits. You control your daily process. And if you keep pouring into that, day in, day out, day in, day out, us as a staff, the student athletes, everybody that touches our guys, at whatever point the process will pay you back. We're also going to have a hell of a lot of fun doing it. We're going to be explosive on offense. We're going to play really fast. We're going to challenge teams in every imaginable way. We're going to run the freaking ball. People around here like running the football, and I can respect it. We're going to be explosive. We're going to play really fast, and it's going to be a brand of football that's going to be fun to watch. Defensively, we're going to be just as fun to watch. We're going to be aggressive, create explosives, create negatives, create turnovers. We're going to be the most violent freaking team on the football field every single Saturday. We're going to be different on special teams. We're going to create explosives on teams. It's going to be a huge difference in why we win. We're going to outwork, outthink, and outprocess people across the entire country. I told the guys yesterday in our team meeting that at whatever point we're ready to be a player-driven program, player-driven. I think in my time, as I've gone through this journey, I've been involved at every aspect or at every level of this thing. The one thing that remains the same is when it's coach-driven, when it's driven, the culture, the standards of everything in the program is driven by the coaches, by the support staff. You max out. Whatever that number of wins is, you max out. When the standards are upheld within that locker room, within each position meeting room, in every aspect of their lives, when it's driven by the players, we'll bring a national championship here to Auburn University. Recruiting is exactly the same. We are rolling up our sleeves. We've been here for 24 hours, and we have gone to work. We're going to recruit this 250-mile radius harder than anybody in the entire country. The high school football within these 250 miles is nothing short of elite. I've been in this part of the country for a long time. I've recruited this part of the country for a long time. Our staff, as it all comes together, is going to have a giant footprint in this 250-mile radius around campus. We're going to identify, we're going to recruit, we're going to attack, and we're going to bring those guys right here to the Plains. And we're going to develop as hard as anybody ever has. The investment that's been made from the administration to go and attack every single part of the recruiting is phenomenal. Nothing short of phenomenal. We've got every resource known to man right here to be able to go attract, recruit, retain, and develop the best talent there is in the entire country. "22 straight sellouts here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. 3 straight years of sold-out season tickets. The support is real. You could feel it walking in here this morning. We're in a race against ourselves to give this elite fan base, to take these elite resources and give what these Auburn fans deserve in every imaginable way. We're in a race against ourselves to do it as fast as we can. At the end of the day, I can't wait to the fall. 88,043 to cheer on our guys and give this fan base exactly what you deserve. I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm so grateful to be here. This is a dream come true. To be the head football coach at Auburn University, to represent this fan base, I'm beyond grateful for you choosing me, John. I'm going to pay it back tenfold, man. I will give this fan base, the alumni base, the former players, and everybody involved with this university, every single bit of everything I got. I'm grateful, I'm humbled, I appreciate you, and war damn Eagle. Let's rock.
Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, Auburn 247. Alex, when you talk about your offense, you described it a lot, but just for fans that haven't seen it, a couple of words that when you come to mind when you think about your offense and what it does on the field, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I would tell you the foundation of it is everything starts with the run. We find ways to run the football. We find ways to create matchups in the run game. Off of the run game sets up everything downfield in the pass game. We use the entire width of the field. We'll condense it, we'll expand it, and we use tempo to our advantage, put defenses to a disadvantage. Try to simplify what defenses can do, and we try to create one-on-one matchups with as much space as you imaginably can. That's the offense.
Justin Ferguson, the Auburn Observer. You've talked in the past about being aggressive in all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams. Kind of walk through that and just how important it is for you to be a team and have a team that does that in every area, not just on the offensive end.
Yeah, Justin, I think the most important thing from whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, it all has to complement each other. When you talk about complementary football, it's got to match. And the culture you build on all three sides of the ball, it has to match. So if we're going to be uber aggressive on offense, and by aggressive means calculated, that doesn't mean that you're doing things that are irrational or don't make sense, but if we're going to be uber aggressive, we're going to make defenses play on their heels, the defense has got to match. You've got to create extra possessions. You've got to create explosives. You've got to get the ball back to the offense. And the special teams have got to match. If you're going to be uber aggressive on offense and uber aggressive on defense, well, the special teams got to match. The special teams tie it all together. And as you look at what we've done throughout my time, whether it be as an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, or as a head coach, that's been the key. And I think as you build a culture within the program and you go into off-season training, and they understand that the theme of what you do is that you're going to be aggressive. That's how you train in the offseason. That's how you prepare in the offseason. And everything you do within the program is just that. If we're going to play fast on offense, play fast on defense, play fast on special teams, we're going to train that way. And I think it's just truly becomes your foundation. It becomes the culture, quote unquote, of the program, that you're going to be aggressive.
Hi, Coach. Rosie Langella with WSFA in Montgomery. How are you?
I'm doing great, Rosie. Thank you.
You're in the process of building your staff. You're adding people, adding Cody Burns. What is your plan on the defensive side of the ball? Will you keep DJ Durkin as the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, so we've been here for 24 hours, Rosie, and obviously had a plan going in that we presented, and we're slowly but surely executing the plan. You mentioned Cody Burns, and Cody got the phone call at 2 in the morning. And man, you talk about excited. All Cody's talked about since the day that he joined our staff, would have been, I guess, 6 years ago, is how incredible this place is and what Auburn University has meant to his life. A lot of years of stories of play here, play there, what this stadium is like day in, day out. So Cody is going to be our associate head coach, and Cody has been by my side for so long and is as incredible as they come as a teammate for me, as a teammate for our staff, but elite teacher, elite man, and an elite football coach. So you talk about a guy that's happy to be here. I'm beyond excited to be able to be a part of bringing Cody back home, and he'll have pointers for me forever. The answer to the defensive side, I'm working through it. We've got a plan. We're working through steps to execute the plan. My hope is that in the next, call it 24, 48 hours, that it's finalized and we have some clarity with which direction we're going, but we're working through it.
Hey, Alex. Nathan King, Auburn Undercover. Can you talk about your philosophy, what you learned with Coach Heupel at Tennessee, and how you approach that as a play caller, and what maybe you anticipate that looking like here at Auburn?
Yeah. So I was with Josh at UCF prior to that, and I think the biggest thing from an offensive side when we went to Tennessee was the fact that we had to adjust. We had to change. This league is different. The defenses are different. Certainly the level of the talent is different. The packages you get are different. Third down looks like a completely different world in this league. And Josh had been in it, forced us to change and evolve. And I think that was probably the biggest growth for me offensively that I made as a play caller, was just, one, understanding that it's going to be different, but forcing us to change and adjust. And the same thing happened when we went to the University of South Florida, is that we had to change and adjust. Different brand of football, different defensively, different in terms of what you're seeing. I think the unique thing with the offense specifically is you have to continue to evolve as people figure out exactly what you're doing. And I think that's what's been awesome about the offensive staff we're bringing in, is with Cody Burns and as other names here come out, guys that are elite at adjusting and changing and evolving as one, time goes, but two, who you're playing goes. In terms of the play calling, it's going to continue to be what it has been here the last couple of years. At the University of South Florida, we've got an offensive staff that's going to be absolutely elite. Large chunk of which is coming with, and those guys will absolutely crush, and our offensive coordinator will call plays, and everybody else in that room will have a ton of input. And I'll be honest with you, even going back to the Tennessee time, it's always been a collaborative effort. Our offensive line coach is crazy involved, receiver coach crazy involved, quarterback coach crazy involved. We got young coaches that are crazy involved, and when you get into a game, there's so much conversation in between drives. It's as truly a collaborative effort as you could ever imagine. I have a 2 cents at times. We all kind of do, and ultimately the guy calling the plays, it's on him to get us in the right spots. But it's a constant communication. It's a really cool way that we've done it. It's collaborative up until the offensive coordinator makes the play call.
Hey, Alex. Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports in Birmingham. Congratulations on the job. The fabric of this conference is made up from its rivalries, and you got two big ones in Alabama and Georgia. I'm interested how excited you are to compete against those two programs, and not just on the field, but recruit against them on the trip.
Yeah, I think as a competitor in any way, you thrive for the competition to be elite. This is the greatest conference in the entire country. The rivalries you just mentioned are the greatest rivalries in college football. Hair on my arm just stood up thinking about the Iron Bowl. I absolutely can't wait to be back to being a part of rivalries like that. It's, like I said, man, goosebumps. That's what you live for. If you're any sort of competitor, if you're in this game, that's what you live for, and we'll be ready to rock.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 and the Auburn Observer podcast. John Cohen mentioned your experiences at Tennessee and South Florida turning around programs that had struggled before you arrived. What did you learn from that, and how does that apply, and what needs to go right over the next few months to do something similar here?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for whatever reason, the good Lord's blessed me with being a part of staffs that have come into situations going all the way back to the University of Toledo, and my first full-time job, going into situations that weren't great when we got there and being a part of the rebuilding. When I tell you, you learn the good with the bad, every aspect of those experiences is what you build on that gives you the confidence to go do this at this level. What you learn is you have to have a plan, and you have to live by the plan, stick to the plan, and more importantly than having the plan, you better be able to make corrections to the plan. I think the experience is what allows you to be confident going into it. You mentioned the last two places, drastically different timing-wise, drastically different eras in college football. I think where I gained confidence from both of those experiences is I was heavily involved in the Tennessee one, simply because obviously being in a coordinator role, but the timing of it. It was as unique of a situation as you can imagine, getting there at the end of January, the transfer portal closed, as crazy as you can imagine, and navigating that process. And then going to the University of South Florida, where the timing was more right, I guess you could say, in terms of getting there at the beginning of December and working through it. I think the one thing that doesn't change is this. You have to be able to identify the immediate roster and figure out really, really quickly who fits. And by fits, I don't mean offensively, defensively, or special teams, but truly who wants to be there? Who is at least got a chance to buy in to what you're doing? Understanding that when you come into a situation where the success wasn't flowing, change has to be made. And I think ultimately, I told the guys yesterday that the change is inevitable. What they choose to do with the change is their choice. And identifying who wants to be here, making sure it matches who and what this program is truly going to be about. And by that I mean what the standards of this program are. And then being able to bring your staff in as quickly as you can, not too fast. You want to make sure you get the right people, but bringing in your staff as fast as you can and immersing the players with your staff. At the end of the day, you have to have the plan coming in, be able to adjust with it, and we're on our 23 of the plan right now.
Hey, Alex, Justin Hokanson, AuburnSports.com, on 3 Sports. The last couple of years, Auburn's lost a lot of games close, a lot of games in the fourth quarter that they could have won, and they lost most of them. Obviously, you weren't here for the specifics of that, but what's your perspective on what it takes to get over the hump, what it takes to consistently make winning plays when it matters, and the difference of just being close versus actually making those plays consistently and winning?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when you talk about closing out games, finishing, is a mindset. You train year-round in our sport for 12 guaranteed opportunities, and you fight your tail off for 13 and 14 and 15, and gosh darn it, 16. The mindset that has to be built, the level of accountability that trains discipline within a program is what prepares you for the fourth quarter. You have to train it. We're going to train the fourth quarter part of what you do starting the very first second that we start in January with our guys. And it starts with winter workouts into spring, certainly into summer, and what that looks like in terms of training discipline day in, day out. And then fall camp is the final piece of that. But you train discipline daily to be able to go finish in the fourth quarter. That piece of it is simply who wants it more. There's obviously a scheme part of it. There's certain things and margins that you've got to be able to go win. Finishing in the fourth quarter is a mindset. This game is still a one-on-one game. You got to want it more than the other guy, and you got to train it. And we've got to train it better than anybody in the country.
Scott Griffin, CBS 42 in Birmingham. I'm curious as to your recollections of your dad, mom, when they come here, you know, and build a life, do the things you have to do, stake a claim, so to speak, and how that impacted you and what elements of that you take when you go to a South Florida, coming to Auburn, and basically doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, there's so many emotions that go through when I think about my parents who dropped everything in 1991 to bring me and my brother here and give us a better life. I think what was going on at that time, they didn't want us to have anything to do with it. And we watched our parents go to a new country with no jobs, with no promise of anything. And I was 7, my brother was 10. We watched them work tirelessly. We had an apartment. We had a roof over our head. We always had everything we needed. And I think I learned at a really early age really 2 things from them. One, you can still outwork people in this life. So one thing about this country is you can still outwork people. It's the same in football as it is in the business world, as it is in any aspect, in any other industry. But I think 2, more than anything else, the power of love, the power of commitment, and the power of sacrifice resonates in every aspect of society. If you just go out, work people, and you love on people, give more of yourself than you ever take, you could change people's lives. And ultimately, amongst all of the craziness in college football, the one thing that hasn't changed is these young guys still want somebody to love them, help them get better, help develop them, and know that somebody cares. Build a level of trust that they'll do anything for you because they know you'll do anything for them. And that's what I learned from my parents.
Bill Cameron, ESPN 106.7 here in Auburn. You spoke to it a little bit, but the calendar right now is crazy. Talk about prioritizing with staffing, retaining players, preparing for the transfer portal, and oh, by the way, signing period starts in less than 48 hours.
Is that it?
I don't know. There's probably more.
And we'll eat after that. Yeah, again, I think the most critical thing, and it was asked earlier, is to have a plan going in and give John credit and his search committee. They wanted to know the plan. And we've got an incredible support staff that's helped put this plan together, but when I tell you minute by minute, we're getting close. Minute by minute, we've got mapped out the entire 6 months as we go forward. These first really 7 days are as critical as anything else. You're right. Hiring a staff, recruiting for signing day Wednesday. I think more important than any of that is meeting with our current players here and truly, a lot of these guys we know, a lot of these guys are in the same footprint that we've been in for a long time. So a lot of these guys in some capacity you know, somebody on our staff knows through the recruiting process from the beginning, but some of them you don't. And so that is the priorities, our current players here, which is why the first thing we did when we got, literally when I got in, was went and talked to our players. From there, the class that's committed, the class that's committed and maybe wavering a little bit, working through that part of it, working through the guys that we had been recruiting at the last place that are maybe committed elsewhere, trying to make sure that Wednesday is the very best that it possibly can be. And then lastly, as you get a break in between using the restroom and trying to eat a Dorito, you're trying to finalize hiring a staff. And all of that, you're truly bouncing back and forth. But again, I think the most important thing, and I can't say this enough, is the current players that are here. Because these are the guys that have the most immediate choice to make right now, is either I'm going to stay here and keep with it and build something really, really special, or, man, I don't know if this is for me, but I think my most important priority is our current players. That took, not to me, but to whoever said, I'm coming to Auburn, and I'm part of this Auburn family, and I want to do this the right way here. So now everything else comes after that. But that's pretty much it.
Hey, Alex, congratulations on the job. Davis Baker, WSFA in Montgomery. Quarterback play has been inconsistent here at Auburn over the last couple of years. Why have you had so much success with your quarterbacks, and what do you make of the room so far, just your initial thoughts?
Yeah. I think quarterback play is so much about putting a system together that fits the quarterback. I think so much in college football is about, man, we run a system, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. I think elite coaches can say, man, this is the best quarterback that we got, and now let's tailor a system to him. And it's truly the same for every other position, is making sure that you're fitting your system around the quarterback. I think that's what's so unique about what we do offensively. You really study us and you look at what we do, it's not, we talked about being able to adjust earlier, but it's not plug and play. What we do schematically changes year to year. It grows as the year goes, as the quarterback grows. It grows as you have injuries potentially, and you got to be able to adjust personnel settings. It's always going to be about players, formations, plays offensively. The quarterback is certainly the most critical piece of that. We've been fortunate to have high-level quarterbacks, I don't know, the last 10 years or so that have played for our staff. I think part of that is recruiting the right guy. Part of that is elite development at that position. And the two guys that are coming in to work with the quarterbacks are the best I have ever been around, which is why they're coming to Auburn. And I think fitting a system around whoever ends up being the one, and then ultimately the 2 and the 3, will be absolutely critical to our success this fall. You look at a room that's uber talented, young in some ways, experienced in some ways, and as we work through and navigate truly who wants to be here, who wants to continue in their development under this coaching staff, I think we'll have more clarity here in the next, I would say, week and a half in terms of that. We've met with a majority of the guys that are here. We're going to finish here this morning and then really try to make some decisions in terms of who wants to be here, who truly doesn't want to be here, and then we'll figure out how to attack the room after that.
Jay with AuburnSports.com, Auburn on 3. My question to you is, do you like to play golf?
So it's a setup question. Been here long enough to know that. So my little man, Barrett, loves golf. And Corbin used to, and she's now super into cheerleading and flag football, so she's just doing it as a hobby now. And my wife is an elite golfer. I like football more than golf. And I'm terrible.
Coach, Philip Marshall from Auburn Undercover, the oldest guy in the room. I know you said you don't like to talk about yourself, But is this kind of like, is there a point where you sit back and reflect on where you were when you were 7 years old to be where you are now? And specifically, when did you say, hey, this football is a pretty good thing, I think I like it?
Yeah, I think if I heard your question right, did I at 7 think I'd be standing here in front of you? I think this moment standing here in front of you for me is incredibly surreal. I've dreamed of this moment. I don't know if I did at 7. I think at 7 I was just hoping I could get a new Nerf ball that I could play football with, but I think for me, I wanted to coach because I had incredible coaches growing up. I had elite examples of what men of character that care about young people, that give more of themselves than they ever take. I had some incredible examples. Some of them are going to be on our staff. And I think as I got into college and really started to think about what I wanted to do, I wanted to coach, and ended up coaching high school football to start. And then I realized that the 3 to 6 p.m. is what I was really excited about. The 7 to 3 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I actually didn't care for, because all I did was think about football the whole time. And I had some incredible opportunities as I've gone through this profession that I just continued to immerse myself in the game, and here we are.
Joe Goodman, AL.com. I just wanted to know how long it was going to take you to beat Alabama, but I'm going to punt to our beat writer, Peter, so he can have the question.
Peter Radicus from AL.com. When you were deciding whether or not to take this job, how much was what Auburn has on the current roster, how much did that impact your decision?
I think the biggest factors that go into choosing a job is, number one, alignment. I think that's where it starts, and I'm not avoiding the question, but alignment, meaning is who you're going to work with going to lock arm in arm with you, have the same vision that you do? Is it aligned from the top, where the commitment that's being talked about is elite? And that was factor number one in terms of making sure the situation we walk into was aligned and there was a real commitment to winning, and not just kind of winning, but an elite commitment to being the best in the country. There wasn't anybody like this place in terms of alignment and commitment. Number two is there support? Is there real authentic support? And what I saw Saturday night at the end of that on the TV was the greatest atmosphere in college football. When you combine that, you can win at a high level. The current roster is certainly something that you look at. I think as you evaluate it, it's important to have a foundation, but I think it's the third of what was important, at least to me and our staff and my family.
Coach Michael Giddens, Auburn. War Report, Auburn. You talked a little bit about quarterback earlier, but can you talk about your approach to QB, vetting out the right QB, and then making a decision about whether to go to the portal to bring in a trigger man and sort out who is the best guy to run your offense this next fall?
Yeah, are you saying in general, what are you looking for in a quarterback?
I'm saying, how do you figure out who the right guy is? I mean, you're inheriting Deuce Knight. You've got Ashton Daniels, who they saved his red shirt. But you're always looking to bring in competition. How do you vet that out this spring and make sure you get your guy as early as possible so you know what you're working with going into the fall? And you talked about tailoring an offense around the strengths of that guy. So you got to pick that guy. How do you get to that guy as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I've been in situations where you knew going into spring who your 1, 2, and 3 were. We were in that boat a year ago. I've been in situations, shoot, more times than I can even think of, where it went all the way through August. I don't know if you can rush that part of it. I do know this. You want to have the best competition you possibly can in a room. Because if you do, you let these guys compete, give them every opportunity to grow, develop within the base foundation of what you are from a system standpoint. And then you pick the guy that you feel like gives you the best chance to win. And there's so many factors that go into that. There's obviously the mental side of it, like who can process it faster than anybody else. There's obviously the physical component to it. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I don't think you can rush that part of it. There's some talented dudes sitting in that room. They have tape, certainly at this level. We're evaluating it like crazy. We evaluated it coming in. I think the biggest thing that we've got to figure out right now is the competition part of that. Are you going to add somebody else? Are you going to add multiple people? And at the end of the day, the competition will take as long as it needs to. I think in the perfect world, you'd love to know in January. In our situation here, we won't. And you probably won't till August, I would imagine, unless spring ball carries out in such a fashion that you'll know. Thank you, guys. War Eagle.